I've been playing tennis over 30 years, and in that time, I've missed a lot of shots. But none of them have been as painful or embarrassing as the one that you're about to see. Ah! Big thank you to Diadem for sponsoring this video and making it possible. But honestly, after they see the miss that you're about to see, they're probably going to stop working with me. So go use code ET15 at checkout while you still can for 15% off balls, strings, rackets, whatever else you need. Okay, so here's the scenario. My 4-5 men's team won Wisconsin this past season, and so we got to go down to sectionals in Indianapolis, Indiana, to play the other teams from the Midwest to try to win the national championship for 4.5. Scott and I teamed up to play number 2 doubles, and pretty quickly we started to get the feeling that our match was going to be really important. We saw that our 2 singles players won really quickly down at the end of our courts. We also saw that number 3 doubles lost very quickly, and we could tell that number 1 doubles right next to us was in a battle. We won the first set 6-1. We were kind of on a roll in the first set, and then in the second set, our opponents really upped their game and started competing really closely with us. And by this time, we could see that number 1 doubles was losing the second set. They lost the first. And so basically, it was going to come down to our match to figure out who was going to come away with the team victory. So in our second set, both teams are holding serve. Number 1 doubles loses. And so now all the courts are empty except for ours. All of our teammates are watching. And we finally get a break to go up 5-4. And at 40-30, 5-4, serving for the match for our team, I hit this shot into the net. What a nightmare. Like, everybody's watching, everybody knows it's match point, getting ready essentially to celebrate the team victory, and that happened. So what did I learn from this situation? Here's my big 5 takeaways, things that you can apply in your very next match to be a better competitor and to come away with more W's. Lesson number 5 that I took away from this embarrassing miss is simply that you need to have a short memory to be a good tennis player. The reality is, tennis is a game of errors. Check out this chart that I use all the time in my coaching. Even at the professional level, the world's best tennis players are making 2 to 3 errors for every winner that they hit. So you're gonna miss some easy shots, and some of them are at critical, pivotal moments in the match, and you have to be able to let them go and move on to the next point. Now, back in my previous competitive experience as a college player, I wasn't able to do that. I didn't have the perspective yet that errors made up such a big part of the game of tennis, and I would quickly emotionally snowball and derail, and I would get to a very angry, dark place. But mistakes are just part of the game. So in this particular match, this particular error, I'm really proud of how I was able to essentially just kind of like be in shock for a moment or two, but then turn around, regroup with my partner, and then move on and do what else we had to do, which leads me right to lesson number 4. The 4th lesson that I learned from this embarrassing error is that it's so critical as a doubles partner to show unconditional support to your teammates. And I mean unconditional. Look at Scott's reaction when I missed this, like the easiest ball ever on match point. He basically has a non-reaction. He runs, gets the ball, picks it up, comes back to me, gives it to me. We walk back to the baseline. We're immediately talking together about what we're gonna do in the next point. It would have been very easy for him to do any number of negative things, like throw his hands up in the air, like look up at the sky, or maybe slump his shoulders and like look down at the ground. Honestly, I wouldn't have even blamed him if he did any of those things. But the fact that not only was he not negative, but he came right back to me in a positive way and showed me support was huge. So all of you out there, take a page out of that lesson from Scott. It's really critical if you want to win more matches, especially as a doubles player, that you just show unconditional support to your partner. My 3rd big takeaway from this embarrassing mistake was to continue to refocus my mind and my attention on what really mattered most. After choking and missing that easy shot on match point while all our teammates were watching, it'd be very, very easy for me to focus instead on, holy crap, what if we lose this match? Or what if things snowball out of control and I'm not able to get my confidence back? Honestly, what happened next wasn't super positive. We went to deuce a bunch of times, I double faulted at least once, and I ended up getting broken. And then we went to a tiebreaker for the second set. Things didn't get better. First, they got worse, and then worse, and then worse. It'd be very easy emotionally for the train to derail and run off the tracks for me, and to get tighter and tighter, and angrier, and more anxious about, oh crap, like what if we really lose after I had the match, like totally on my racket. And let me tell you loud and clear, you're not a robot. You're not a machine. You will feel those things and you will think those thoughts. Mental toughness does not mean never having a negative thought. Mental toughness also does not mean trying to pretend they're not there and going, wow, like, oh, I'm not negative, I'm not tight, I'm not nervous. Mental toughness means being human, feeling those things, but then refocusing your energy on what needs to happen in the moment right now. If you're enjoying this lesson so far, then please go show some support to the company that made it possible, and that is diademsports.com. I've been playing with the Elevate Tour for a couple years now. It really reminds me of the old Pro Staff line of rackets. Really nicely weighted, built for long swings, fantastic around the net. I also use their Solstice Black 18 gauge string, has great bite, great feel as well. And we've been using their balls for our tennis matches, and they're in my teaching cart. Really fantastic stuff. So if you're a tennis player, you're looking for top quality stuff to feed your addiction on the court, make sure to go to diademsports.com, use code ET15, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. My second big takeaway in this match was to keep optimizing for the moment. Your brain is going to want to tell you stories. It's going to want to think about the future, and it's going to want to think about the past. It's going to think about the future in terms of, what if we lose this match? How angry is my partner going to be? How disappointed are my teammates going to be? Your brain is going to want to look into the future, but every time it happens, you've got to consciously make the decision to come back to the present. It's also going to want to replay for you the past. How easy was that shot? How dumb are you for missing it? When that happens, consciously pick something in the moment, right here and now, to focus on that's productive. So it might be your target for the next serve that you're going to hit. It might be whether you're going to aim cross court or maybe try a lob on the next return of serve. Something specific, something tangible, something actionable right here, right now. So as an example, we went to a tiebreaker in the second set, and I realized that when I was serving at 5-4, I was starting to get a little tight in my arm, and I didn't really realize it until after I'd gotten broken. And I was able to loosen up, swing much more freely, make more racket head speed, and I served much more confidently in the tiebreaker than I did when I got broken. My number one takeaway from this embarrassing miss that I had is that you can miss easy, embarrassing tennis shots. You can choke in the middle of a match and still win the matches. In the past, I would let my negativity snowball out of control, and I would just go into a downward spiral of like bad feelings and emotions. But in this match, I returned back to the present moment. I bounced back quickly. I let the mistake go as best as I could. I kept refocusing on the present, and we won the match. We went to a tiebreaker, and Scott and I won the second set tiebreaker 12-10. There's no doubt in my mind we would have lost that match if I allowed myself to lose control of the present moment. I wasn't able to regain focus, get clear and focused on what I needed to do in the match. But thankfully, I've learned some lessons over the years, trying my best to pass those on to you. I hope this was super helpful and you could apply it in your own game.